What is going on, my fellow Summit Chasers? Thank you so much for being here, watching this video today as I give you a little bit of an insight and update of what we have been doing, what we are going to be doing, and some of the goals that we have here at Summit Chasers. But I wanted to give you a quick little update on what we have been doing and a little bit of insight into us running this business, us helping other businesses, us helping our clients, and what we've been doing kind of behind the scenes, some of the fun extracurricular things that we've been doing that we're hoping that will add to our ability to provide a great service to a number of different people in a number of different ways. So one of the things first I wanted to kind of touch on a little bit is when we first started Summit Chasers, it was me and Adrena taking a drive in our car. I was going to say new truck, but I think it was a car. Doesn't matter. And we listened to a book, and the book was called, I think it was called Find Your Why. It wasn't, it was it was a play on Simon Sinek's book, Start with Why, and it's a book called Find Your Why. So how do you actually find your why? That's Cage. He is our mascot. I'll have to blur that out probably. It was called Start Your Why, and this was just before, just literally days before we had decided to start Summit Chasers. Anyways, we were listening to this book, and there was exercises in it for some very introspective exercises that needed somebody else to do them with, to ask questions and to get ideas from and that kind of stuff. And when we were listening to this book and going through these exercises, we realized we were so aligned on what we wanted to do, what we wanted to accomplish, and some of the strengths that we had. I want to say aligned, it's not that we have the same strengths, it's that our strengths complemented each other. Our strengths allowed the other's strengths to become stronger, and that's leverage. So, and we really wanted to be able to help people. We really wanted to be able to work with business owners, especially those that haven't had a traditional upbringing. They didn't have parents that, had, the MBAs, and maybe they didn't even graduate high school, whatever it was. And we wanted to give them a shot because that's very similar to both of our backgrounds. Actually, if you've seen any podcasts that I've been on or been any of the keynotes that I've done or anything like that, I've talked about how I was actually a drug addict when I was supposed to be graduating high school and turned professional athlete, and I got my business chops and my love for that game not in the traditional sort of way. Didn't really think it'd be anything I wanted to do, but technically I was a business owner since I was 18. Won't get into those specifics, but it was something that we both absolutely wanted to do and we're very passionate about. We wanted to provide a future where the success of the entrepreneur, of the business owner, was to be expected, not an anomaly. And so that's where Summit Chasers was born. And right away, I had some good connections because I had some businesses beforehand. I had a agency beforehand where I worked with business leaders, especially in sales, sales process development and sales leadership development. So I kind of brought some of that expertise in with me, and we got some clients really, really quickly. And when you're starting a business, it's just typical for everybody. Even if you have the experience, and I've started, this is my last, but this is my 9th business, I believe, that I have had started and grown. And it's funny, the little things that you consistently do that you shouldn't do, but you do anyways. And one of those things is you get really excited. You almost have a love affair with your product or your service or your message, whatever it is, the thing that you're trying to accomplish. And then you try to do everything. You try to do everything. So we had 3 podcasts going at the same time. We had a really quick influx of clients that we were developing our process. We were developing our frameworks and that kind of stuff and how we're going to deliver them. And we got overwhelmed. There's too much going on. And then we also had this dream that we wanted to do. And it was almost a point to prove as well, where we wanted to run a business while living on the road. And that's been our most recent challenge, is running a business on the road. And we actually have grown the business by a little over 300%. And we got things more streamlined. We've actually hired some people. We have a great partner now. So we've proved the point that you can run a business and live the life that you want, at least the type of business that we have, or run it in a specific way and live the life that you want. But we had all these things going on at once, and something had to give. We needed to know. We knew that our priorities needed to be elsewhere. So I actually I had a podcast. I have a podcast, and then I also had a segment that I started, the Startup Success Series, and that needed to go really quickly. So there's been a few people that I've done the interviews with, and we have them recorded. They're not edited or anything like that. I haven't released them. So for those of you where I did the editing, so we did the interview, but we didn't get to release it yet, I apologize. We had a shift. We made a shift. I had to shift our priorities as far as our content. We had to pull everything back kind of behind the scenes and get a company to help us properly brand ourselves and get a proper website up. The website looks amazing. It's live now. And that stuff just didn't fit. It just didn't fit at the time. Although there's some of me that does kind of regret not sticking with it, because I met some amazing people, and I really wish that we could have put some of those out. But we might still be putting some of those interviews out. I'll have to get some. I'll have to make sure that it's okay with those that we recorded it with. But the goal is to still put some of those out. So they're not gone forever, but it just wasn't a focus. We had to pull back. Another thing we had to pull back on was we had to pick and choose between which podcast we wanted to kind of keep consistent. And Adrena's was doing absolutely amazing, and hers is the Voices of Impact podcast. So we wanted to keep that one going, and we wanted to keep that one going consistently. So mine kind of took a little bit of a backseat, so I could focus on marketing, messaging, sales processes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all those kinds of things that make your business, the world go round in the business world. So and also working with all of our clients and that kind of stuff. So that's where my focus had to be, as well as making sure that we were safe on the road as well. That was a big focus of mine as well. So that's kind of where we were. Now in the last 4 or 5 months, we've really been able to come back in. Now that we have some more people on our team, like I said, our processes are much more streamlined. We're practicing what we preach, because that's a big part of what we do when we work with our clients. Is we implement SOPs, we document SOPs, and we create systems where you can just find your SOPs, your operating procedures, but you have the ability to improve them. You know where to improve them. You know where to start. You know where to prioritize. And that's what we did. And that's where we are. So because of that, I'm happy to announce that my podcast, the Summit Chasers podcast, is going to be back going live every week on Wednesdays. Now, when they're going to be released, I'm going to play around with a few different times, but probably sometime in the midday. We're going to test and measure. That's all we're going to do. But that'll be released. And our first episode is going to be with somebody who actually we got in touch about 3 or 4 months ago, and it's been difficult to get back on each other's schedules. But I'm very excited for Lindsay McMillian Steeman. I said your name right this time. During the podcast, I kept saying Stamen. It's not how you pronounce her name. It's Steeman, like steaming vegetables. She is a LinkedIn expert and all around great person. So that'll be the first episode that's coming out this Wednesday. So very excited about that. And big news, we partnered with Mr. Rob Cameronpour on a live conference, the Young Professionals Leadership Summit. That'll be October 19th, possibly 18th and 19th in Toronto for this one. And we are so stoked to announce, stoked is a professional word, just trust me. We're very excited to announce that Yahoo Canada is going to be a title sponsor. It's going to be a main sponsor for that event. We're so excited. And there's a few other sponsors that we're really excited about. We just have to dot the I's and cross some T's before we can announce it. But we're very, very excited for that. I'm very, very excited for that event in general. I put on lots of events before. The speakers that we have in this one are going to be able to cover so much ground. They're going to be able to speak to so many different types of people. You're going to get actionable takeaways that are going to be very clear for you to execute on. And you're going to know, I think one of the biggest things when these conferences is you come away knowing what questions to ask. You understand a little bit more of what you don't know. You know what direction to start going and start focusing on. And this one is really turning out to do just that. So we want to be able to bring actionable things that people can sit there, these young professionals, whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, new to leadership, maybe you're trying to advance your career, things that you can go and do that night, that day, the next week, the next month, the next year going forward, and achieve the success that you want. That's the goal of this event. And we're very, very excited for it. And we have actually believe it has just been cemented that we will be doing a second one in the US, in New York, in June 2025. So stay tuned for more news on that one. We'll keep you all updated on what that one's doing. But our journey has been absolutely incredible. I can't be more thankful. Even during the tough times, the overwhelming times, the uncertainty, it has been an absolute roller coaster. And I can't imagine myself doing anything else other than what I'm doing, which is being an actual coach, a consultant, a mentor, helping people get out of their own way, helping people grow their own businesses, growing the people around them, and seeing that they can have the life that they want. They can see that they can have a life probably better than what they thought they deserved as well. And it's I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else. So I'm just so thankful to be doing this. I'm so thankful to our clients and to those who aren't yet our clients. But I'm just thankful for everybody, my partners, my partner, Adrena, and everybody, people listening. I'm very, very thankful. And I'm very, very excited for where things are going. To think that a guy who was a drug addict when I was 17 to being a professional athlete and in profession, in sports that aren't typically known for their they aren't typically known for having very educationally focused individuals coming out of them, being mixed martial arts, uh, fitness, and strongman. So I'm very, very thankful for everything. And I also am very aware of how much hard work it took. And my dedication to everybody listening to this is I will continue to work hard. I will continue to improve, grow, take responsibility, and keep moving forward. But thank you again for listening. And until next time, everybody, keep chasing your next summit.